Welcome back to our channel, English with Ethan. Today we are talking about something every human wants, something every human searches for, something every human needs: happiness. But here is the interesting part. Almost everyone wants to be happy. Almost everyone tries to be happy. But very few people know how to be happy. We live in a world full of devices, full of entertainment, full of comfort, full of technology. Yet people feel empty. People feel stressed. People feel anxious. People feel lost. So the big question is, why is happiness so hard? And how can we be happy all the time? Most of us have been taught that happiness is something we get. We think happiness comes from success, money, perfect life, perfect job, perfect relationship, perfect body, perfect house, perfect phone. We say, when I achieve this, I will be happy. When I get that, I will be happy. When life becomes perfect, I will be happy. But this is a trap. Because life is never perfect. Life is always changing. Life is always complex. Life has ups and downs. So if our happiness depends on perfect conditions, we will never be happy. True happiness does not come from perfection. True happiness comes from perspective, acceptance, and simple habits that we practice every day. Happiness is not outside us. Happiness is inside us. We just need to learn how to access it. In this video, we will learn why happiness disappears, how our brain creates happiness, how to protect happiness from negativity, how to build happiness as a habit, how to feel happy without depending on results, how to find happiness even in difficult times. This is not about fake positivity. This is not about ignoring problems. This is not about pretending life is perfect. This is about learning how to stay internally stable, emotionally peaceful, and mentally happy even when things are not perfect. Because real happiness is not about what happens outside. Real happiness is about how we respond from inside. So let's begin the journey of how to be happy all the time. Part 1. Stop chasing happiness outside yourself. The first and biggest reason we struggle to be happy is because we believe happiness comes from outside. From childhood, we are trained to think, when I get this, I will be happy. When I achieve that, I will be happy. When life becomes perfect, I will be happy. So we spend our life chasing success, money, approval, status, attention, comfort, luxury. But after we get these things, we notice something surprising. The happiness does not stay. It disappears quickly. This is because external things have temporary power. They can make us feel excited for a moment, but they cannot make us happy forever. Let's understand why. 1. External happiness has an expiry date. When we buy a new phone, we feel excited for a few days. Then excitement disappears. When we get new clothes, we feel good for 1 week. Then we forget. When we achieve a goal, we feel proud for 1 day. Then we start asking, what next? This is called hedonic adaptation. Our brain gets used to external pleasure. So we chase more and more, but happiness keeps running away. 2. The brain gets tired of more. We think more means more happiness, more money, more likes, more followers, more respect, more achievements. But the brain gets used to more very fast. One day we dream of earning $5,000. When we reach $5,000, we want $10,000, then $50,000, then $100,000. Targets keep changing, so happiness keeps escaping. This is why many successful, rich, famous people still feel unhappy. Because happiness does not live in more. 3. External happiness depends on conditions. External happiness says, I will be happy if things go my way. But life does not always go our way. Some days are good, some days are bad, some days are confusing. If happiness depends on conditions, happiness becomes unstable. We become slaves of situations. 4. Real happiness begins when we stop chasing. People think, when I stop chasing, I will lose everything. But the truth is, when I stop chasing, I start living. When we stop chasing happiness outside, we begin to notice happiness inside. We start enjoying small moments, small wins, small joys, small conversations, small comforts, small acts of kindness, small efforts. Life becomes peaceful. 5. Internal happiness is made of 3 things. Real happiness comes from 1. Perspective. 2. Meaning. 3. Connection. A. Perspective. How we see life matters more than what we have in life. 2 people can have the same situation but feel differently. Perspective creates emotional peace. B. Meaning. When we do things that matter to us, we feel alive. Meaning creates fulfillment. C. Connection. Connecting with people we care about and connecting with ourselves brings emotional stability. Connection creates joy. These things cannot be bought. They must be built. 6. The happiness trap. The biggest trap is believing. I will be happy when I get a car. I will be happy when I lose weight. I will be happy when I get a girlfriend. I will be happy when I get promoted. But when the when happens, we create a new when. Happiness gets postponed forever. We must shift from I will be happy when to I will allow myself to be happy now. 7. Understand the difference between pleasure and happiness. Pleasure equals comes from outside. Happiness equals comes from inside. Pleasure is quick, strong, short, temporary. Happiness is slow, deep, long, stable. Pleasure happens to the body. Happiness happens to the heart. We need both, but happiness is more important. 8. The 99% chase happiness. The 1% create happiness. Most people chase happiness in entertainment, shopping, social media, parties, validation, status. So happiness becomes weak and temporary. But wise people create happiness by gratitude, simplicity, purpose, relationships, self-awareness. So happiness becomes strong and permanent. Part 2. Train your mind for internal happiness. If we want to be happy all the time, we must understand that happiness is not only a feeling. Happiness is also a skill. Just like we train our body in the gym, we must train our mind for happiness. Without training, the mind becomes negative. With training, the mind becomes peaceful. Let's understand how. 1. The mind is wired for survival, not happiness. Our brain did not evolve for happiness. It evolved for safety and survival. This is why the mind pays more attention to problems, threats, worries, fear, negative thoughts. This is not our fault. This is how nature designed us. But if we want happiness, we must teach the mind a new way of thinking. 2. Happiness begins with awareness. The first step is awareness. Awareness means noticing. Our thoughts, our reactions, our emotions, our triggers, our habits. Most people are not unhappy because life is bad. They are unhappy because their mind is untrained. Awareness is like a mirror. It shows us what needs to change. 3. Use gratitude to rewire the brain. Gratitude is not just a nice idea. It is a neuroscience tool. When we practice gratitude, our brain releases dopamine, makes us feel good. Serotonin creates calmness. Gratitude changes the brain from survival mode to happiness mode. Powerful gratitude questions. What is good in my life right now? What small thing am I thankful for today? Who makes my life better? What do I have that I once prayed for? Happiness begins when we notice what is already good. 4. Control attention, control emotions. Where attention goes, emotion follows. If we focus on problems, we feel stressed. If we focus on blessings, we feel peaceful. If we focus on lack, we feel unhappy. If we focus on growth, we feel hopeful. Happiness is not about controlling life. Happiness is about controlling attention. 5. Replace overthinking with observation. Overthinking destroys happiness. Because overthinking creates imaginary problems, imaginary fears, imaginary pain. Most of the things we worry about never actually happen. To stop overthinking, we use observation. We observe thoughts like, oh, I am thinking this. I notice worry coming. I see negative thoughts rising. Observation creates distance. Distance creates peace. 6. Train the mind to return to the present. Most unhappiness comes from regretting the past, worrying about the future. But happiness lives in the present moment. When we focus on the present, eating becomes peaceful, walking becomes mindful, work becomes smoother, relationships become deeper. Simple technique. Several times a day, ask, what is happening here and now? This brings attention back to the present. 7. Use simplicity to protect mental peace. The mind gets tired when life becomes complicated, but happiness grows with simplicity. Examples of mental simplicity: clear goals, decluttered room, organized schedule, less chaos, fewer distractions, simple routines. Simplicity reduces stress. Stress kills happiness. 8. The 99% react emotionally. The 1% respond thoughtfully. When we react emotionally, we lose peace. When we respond thoughtfully, we keep peace. The mind must be trained to pause before reacting. 1 second of pause can save hours of regret. 9. Internal happiness requires emotional hygiene. Just like we brush our teeth every day, we need to clean our emotions every day. Emotional hygiene means not holding grudges, not carrying yesterday's anger, not storing hurt, not keeping resentment. These things poison happiness. We release them through forgiveness, writing, talking, understanding, acceptance. Forgiveness is not for them. Forgiveness is for us. Part 3. Stop depending on circumstances for happiness. One of the biggest reasons people feel unhappy is because their happiness depends on circumstances. Circumstances are the events and situations around us. Weather, traffic, money, delays, job, people, opinions, unexpected problems. When circumstances are good, we feel good. When circumstances are bad, we feel bad. This means our happiness is vulnerable. It can be destroyed anytime. To be happy all the time, we must learn to separate happiness from circumstances. 1. Life will not always go according to plan. No matter how smart we are, no matter how careful we are, no matter how rich we are, life will always surprise us. Sometimes life gives joy. Sometimes life gives pain. Sometimes life gives confusion. Sometimes life gives lessons. If our happiness depends on smooth plans, we will always be disappointed. Because life is not a straight line. Life is ups and downs. Happiness must survive both. 2. Acceptance makes happiness stable. The reason circumstances hurt us is not because they are painful, but because we reject them. We say, this should not happen. This is unfair. This is wrong. Rejection creates suffering. Acceptance creates peace. Acceptance does not mean we like the situation. Acceptance means we stop fighting mentally. When we stop fighting reality, The mind becomes lighter. 3. Control what we can, release what we cannot. Many people try to control everything: people's opinions, people's behavior, weather, traffic, economy, delays, accidents. But these things are not in our control. Trying to control the uncontrollable creates stress and destroys happiness. The formula for peace is simple: control the controllable. Accept the uncontrollable. What we can control: our reactions, our values, our habits, our decisions, our attitude, our patience, our mindset. When we focus on these, happiness becomes stronger. 4. Happiness dies when we expect the world to behave perfectly. If we expect perfect people, perfect relationships, perfect plans, perfect days, perfect results, perfect conditions, we will always be unhappy, because the world is not perfect. The happiest people are not those who have perfect lives. They are those who have flexible minds. When something goes wrong, they adjust. When something changes, they adapt. When something fails, they learn. When something hurts, they heal. Flexibility creates emotional strength. 5. Don't connect happiness with success only. Many people say, "I will be happy only when I succeed." But success takes time. Success requires patience. If happiness is delayed until success, then we will spend most of life unhappy. Instead, we must enjoy the process, not just the result. Success feels great for one day. The journey lasts years. Happiness must live in the journey. 6. Stop waiting for perfect circumstances. Some people say, "I will be happy when my life is stable." But life never becomes fully stable. There will always be bills, disagreements, deadlines, responsibilities, surprises, mistakes, challenges. So instead of waiting for life to calm down, we learn to remain calm inside life. 7. Peace is an internal skill. Peace does not come from noise-free environment, perfect weather, bank balance, compliments, approval, comfort. Peace comes from understanding, perspective, acceptance, values, stillness. Peace is internal. Circumstances are external. When internal peace is stronger than external chaos, happiness becomes permanent. 8. The sphere of control technique. A powerful technique to reduce suffering. Draw 2 circles in your mind. Inner circle equals things I can control. Outer circle equals things I cannot control. Whenever something happens, ask, in which circle does this belong? If it is in the outer circle, opinions, weather, past, other people, traffic, delays, then we let it go mentally. If it is in the inner circle, our patience, our response, our thoughts, our efforts, our discipline, then we take action. This technique protects happiness. 9. The 99% react to circumstances. The 1% respond to circumstances. The 99% say, "My day is ruined because something went wrong." The 1% say, "My day continues, even if something went wrong." Response is more powerful than reaction. Reaction equals emotional. Response equals intelligent. We must train ourselves to respond. Part 4. Small habits that build daily happiness. Happiness is not always a big event. Happiness is often a small habit. Most people think happiness comes from big achievements, big goals, big success, big money, big lifestyle. But the truth is different. Even if we achieve big things, we spend most of our life in the ordinary days, not in the celebration moments. So if we want to be happy all the time, we must learn how to be happy in the ordinary days. Happiness is built through small, repeatable habits that feed the mind, body, and heart. Let's understand the habits that create daily happiness. 1. Morning sunlight plus movement. Scientific studies show that morning sunlight boosts mood. Morning movement increases dopamine and serotonin. These chemicals create natural happiness. Even 10 to 15 minutes of walking, stretching, jogging, cycling can change our emotional state for the entire day. A good morning routine can reduce anxiety, stress, fatigue, negativity. Small habit, big impact. 2. Practice gratitude in tiny moments. We don't need a big gratitude journal. We just need a gratitude mindset. Every day, notice 3 simple things. Something you saw, something you felt, someone you appreciate. Example: the weather was nice. The food tasted good. Someone smiled at me. I enjoyed my tea. My body helped me walk. These tiny recognitions build emotional richness. The brain starts seeing what is good instead of what is missing. 3. Create micro-joy moments. Micro-joys are tiny activities that give a small emotional lift. Examples: listening to a song we love, drinking warm tea or coffee, talking to someone we care about, sitting in silence for 5 minutes, smiling at a stranger, watching sunset, reading a few pages of a book. Micro-joys remind the brain that life is not only about tasks and pressure. Life also has small pleasures. 4. Learn to breathe consciously. Breathing is the fastest way to calm the mind and regulate emotion. When we breathe slowly and deeply, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which creates relaxation and peace. A simple habit: 4 seconds inhale, 4 seconds hold, 6 seconds exhale. Do this 3 times a day. It reduces stress, anger, anxiety, tension. Calm breathing equals calm life. 5. Do one kind action every day. Human beings feel happiness when we contribute or help. Kindness activates oxytocin, a hormone that builds connection and joy. Kindness doesn't need money. Simple acts: holding the door for someone, helping a friend, giving compliments, calling parents, checking on a neighbor, sharing food, listening without judging. Kindness makes us feel useful and valuable. 6. Limit digital noise. Phones steal happiness silently. Excessive scrolling increases anxiety, comparison, impatience, distraction, mental fatigue. A simple habit: no phone for the first 30 minutes after waking and last 30 minutes before sleeping. This builds peace, focus, emotional balance. Screens drain the brain. Silence recharges it. 7. Practice slow moments. The modern world is fast, but happiness requires slow moments. Slow moments mean eating without rushing, walking without headphones, enjoying nature without taking photos, listening without interrupting, breathing without distractions. Slow moments create presence. Presence creates happiness. 8. Clean small spaces. Research shows that cleaning small spaces reduces stress and increases clarity. Examples: make bed every morning, clean desk for 2 minutes, wash cup immediately after use, throw unnecessary papers. Small habit: clean environment, clean environment, clean mind. 9. Learn something small every day. Growth creates happiness. We feel alive when we learn. We can learn. One new word, one new skill, one new fact, one new idea, one new perspective. Competitive learning exhausts. Curious learning inspires. Learning makes the brain excited. 10. Sleep with emotional closure. Many people sleep with unfinished arguments, unexpressed stress, heavy thoughts, screen exposure, regret, overthinking. This destroys mental peace. A better habit: ask 2 questions before sleeping. What went well today? What can I improve tomorrow? This gives closure and direction. Part 5. Protect your happiness from negativity. Even if we build happiness inside, negativity from the outside can slowly destroy it. Just like a small hole can sink a big ship, small negative influences can sink a peaceful mind. If we want to be happy all the time, we must learn how to protect happiness from negativity, toxicity, and emotional pollution. Let's understand how negativity works and how to defend against it. 1. Negativity spreads faster than positivity. Human brains are wired to notice danger. This is a survival mechanism. This means negative news spreads fast. Negative comments hurt more. Negative situations stay longer in memory. So if we are careless, the mind becomes a garden for negative thoughts. To be happy, we must filter what enters the mind. 2. Protect yourself from toxic people. Not all negativity comes from situations. Sometimes it comes from people. There are people who complain constantly, judge others, criticize without reason, gossip, compare, shame, manipulate, spread fear, drain energy. Such people are emotional toxins. Being around them kills joy slowly. We don't need to hate them, but we must protect boundaries. Boundaries mean less time with toxic people, more space away from criticism, politely ending negative conversations, not trying to fix everyone, not absorbing their emotions. We cannot be happy if we spend life in emotionally dirty environments. 3. Protect happiness from digital negativity. Digital spaces can be toxic too. Scrolling too much increases comparison, anxiety, jealousy, restlessness, stress, fear of missing out. Social media creates illusions. Everyone looks happy. Everyone looks successful. Everyone looks perfect. But these are edited highlights, not real life. Happiness drops when we compare real life with someone's highlight reel. A simple habit. Limit scrolling and increase living. Less screen, more peace. Less comparison, more gratitude. 4. Protect happiness from constant news. News channels are not built for peace. They are built for attention. Negative stories get more attention than positive stories. So news focuses on crimes, disasters, chaos, conflicts, fear, drama. If we consume this every day, the brain becomes scared and hopeless. We must be informed, not immersed. Spend more time improving life, less time watching negativity about life. 5. Protect happiness from overthinking. Most negativity does not exist in real life. It exists in our mind. Overthinking creates imaginary problems, imaginary fears, imaginary outcomes. The mind starts suffering from situations that do not exist. To protect happiness, we must learn to separate thoughts from reality. Ask, is this really happening, or am I imagining it? This question saves a lot of peace. 6. Protect happiness from comparison. Comparison is a silent killer of happiness. When we compare our timeline, our body, our income, our skills, our achievements, our relationships, we create unnecessary sadness. Nobody has the same past, so nobody will have the same journey. Flowers do not compete with each other. They bloom in their own time. We must learn to bloom in ours. 7. Protect happiness from perfection pressure. Perfection creates stress. Stress destroys happiness. If we try to be perfect student, perfect employee, perfect child, perfect partner, perfect achiever, we will end up emotionally exhausted. Happiness grows when we allow ourselves to be human, not perfect. 8. Protect happiness from emotional storage. Many people store old sadness, old anger, old guilt, old grudges, old regrets. Storing these emotions makes the mind feel heavy. A heavy mind cannot feel happy. Learn to release emotions through talking, writing, forgiving, accepting, letting go, Release is as important as progress. 9. Protect happiness by choosing your environment. Happiness is influenced by environment. Environments can be empowering or draining. Empowering environments include nature, clean rooms, calm spaces, books, creative places, positive people. Draining environments include clutter, noise, chaos, argumentative spaces, gossip circles. Changing environment often changes emotion. Part 6. Build emotional strength for difficult times. The Happiness Shield. Being happy when life is easy is simple. Being happy when life is difficult is a skill. If we want to be happy all the time, we must learn how to protect our happiness during tough situations. Because life will not always be smooth. We will face loss, rejection, stress, uncertainty, failure, disappointments, delays, health issues, relationship problems. Happiness is not about avoiding storms. It is about learning how to stay steady in storms. This steady mind is called emotional strength. 1. Emotional strength does not mean no sadness. Many people assume emotional strength means we never cry, we never get sad, we never feel weak. This is wrong. Emotional strength is not the absence of feelings. Emotional strength is the management of feelings. A strong person can cry and still continue life. A weak person hides feelings and breaks quietly. Feeling emotions makes us human. Handling emotions makes us strong. 2. Emotional strength begins with emotional awareness. Most people suffer not because they feel, but because they don't understand what they feel. Emotional awareness means asking, what emotion am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? What triggered this? Is it temporary? Is it real or imagined? When we name emotions, emotions lose power. A calm sentence like, I am feeling anxious right now, reduces half the anxiety. Awareness turns chaos into clarity. 3. Emotional strength requires acceptance of difficulty. Pain becomes heavier when we resist it. Pain becomes lighter when we accept it. Acceptance does not mean we like the situation. Acceptance means we stop creating extra suffering. Example, a breakup already hurts. Saying, why me? This should not happen, adds more hurt. Acceptance says, it is painful, but I will heal. This mindset protects happiness during storms. 4. Emotional strength means controlling response, not circumstances. We cannot always control people, events, outcomes, timing, weather, opinions. But we can always control our response. Our power lies in our response. Two people can face the same difficulty, but feel different inside. Why? Because their response is different. Response is strength. Reaction is weakness. 5. Emotional strength grows through discomfort. Just like muscles grow through resistance, emotional strength grows through discomfort. Examples of emotional workouts: doing hard tasks, facing fears, talking through conflicts, learning from mistakes, admitting flaws, accepting uncertainty. Uncomfortable experiences build strong hearts. Comfort zones build fragile hearts. 6. Emotional strength requires healthy outlets. When emotions have no outlet, they explode inside. Healthy outlets include talking to someone we trust, writing our thoughts, exercising, meditation, creative expression, spending time in nature, prayer or reflection, reading something meaningful. These outlets release emotional pressure. An unreleased emotion becomes a burden. A released emotion becomes wisdom. 7. Emotional strength needs patience with healing. Some pains heal in days. Some pains heal in months. Some pains heal in years. Healing has no timer. We must give ourselves permission to heal slowly. This patience prevents frustration and hopelessness. When we allow healing, happiness slowly returns. 8. Emotional strength protects happiness by finding meaning in pain. We cannot always avoid pain, but we can always learn from pain. Pain teaches growth, humility, compassion, patience, perspective, strength. People who learn from pain become wise. Wisdom creates inner happiness that does not break easily. 9. Emotional strength builds resilience, bounce-back ability. Resilience means we bend, but we do not break. Resilient people still feel sadness, but they recover. They still fail, but they restart. They still get hurt, but they heal. They still lose, but they learn. Resilience transforms suffering into strength. Before we end this video, remember one powerful truth. Happiness is not something we wait for. Happiness is something we practice. It is not hidden in the future. It is built in the present. It is not found in perfection. It is found in perspective. If we train our mind, if we build small happy habits, if we protect our peace from negativity, and if we stay emotionally strong during storms, then happiness will not be temporary. It will become part of who we are. Because real happiness does not come from outside. Real happiness comes from inside. So be kind to yourself. Slow down sometimes. Notice the small joys. Learn from difficult times, and allow life to be imperfect. If this video gave you value, like this video, share it with someone who needs peace, and subscribe for more motivational graded reader lessons. And remember, happiness is not a destination. Happiness is a lifestyle. We will see you in the next video.